We're live. We are live. Let's bring some heat to this bitch, Mary. How are you? Little cousins. I don't know what else to say. I'm
Heat to
addicted to YouTube, and now I'm on YouTube with my cousin. It's bad. I'm addicted to YouTube. I go to bed listening to YouTube. I've been going downstairs. Hold on. First of all, wifing, lifing, cleaning, streaming, stores, chores, blue pilled bores. Okay. Yes. All of those things are applicable this week for me anyway. But I'm addicted to YouTube. Now I'm on YouTube, and then I like notice when I go downstairs in the morning, like my phone's going, and I always have like a podcast that I'm listening to. This is when I wake up in the morning. I fell asleep listening to one, and then I go in the kitchen. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Yeah, like a 2 second, and then I go grab my earbud so I can keep listening to my podcast. I need to cut back on YouTube.
Definitely. When we get into the resolutions portion, we'll talk about New Year's resolutions, what we're planning on changing. But I love YouTube. I love it. I mean, today was a huge day for me because, when I rolled out of bed at noon, turn over, pick up my phone, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's been an arrest in the Idaho 4 murder. And then
Yeah.
I have to listen to everybody speculate until the press conference at 4. So that's like all day. But I will say, while I'm doing it, I literally got on my hands and knees, scrubbed my kitchen floor, cleaned the cabinet front. I get so much done, but I am telling my kids.
Stop showing off. My house is a mess.
Oh, mine was a disgrace. Mine was an absolute disgrace. So, I go to sleep listening to, oh my gosh, any number of things.
Joe's like, you need to stop falling asleep to podcasts because now that with the drama and everything, my dreams are starting to get really violent because people are fighting on the streams that I'm sleeping to, and it was such a gift. And I'm not just saying this; it's such a gift to wake up this morning. But Wheels, I know you're coming on later. I woke up to Wheels, and he's just so even keeled, and he's so smart, and he's not being dramatic or sensationalist. So that was a real treat, But yeah, as soon as I see Wheels, I'm like, Wheels walking downstairs. Oh, hi, family.
But I told you, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
This drama. So I sent you a video earlier in the week, and you're like, what the hell is this guy even talking about? Because it was like a true crime guy, but all the craziness, all the fighting, different YouTubers fighting with other YouTubers. And my husband, he says that he sees it in even the armchair historians. Everybody's an authority. And guess what? I'm the authority of nothing. So I hope to not get involved in any of that crap.
I don't know anything. Okay, so I know what you're talking about. I could come off as kind of like a know-it-all. I don't know anything. So today for fun, I actually, like when you think something is completely true, and then, so one of my axioms of life is no one ever regretted a workout, right? Well, today I went for a very long, mostly uphill walk. I regretted it. I was dizzy after. I don't know what my problem was. It was the first workout I ever was like, maybe I went a little too hard. And it was just a walk, but it was like an uphill walk. But anyway, so what I did is I went down memory lane, and I was like, oh, let's see. I'll walk to one of my workouts. So I was like, what was my workout for January? Because I used to teach, and you would have to make a new playlist. So I listened to my playlist for New Year's 2020. And I was like, let's see if there's any predictive programming in here.
Oh, that's fun.
There was one song that I think was really, it had kind of like a fun beat, and it was like some lady with a British accent, and she's like, tired of being bored. Being bored is so boring. Let's get weird. And it was like, I know that sounds crazy, but it's like a really good beat to do spin class to. So she's all about bored, and we're gonna get really weird. And then other songs, there's one song by Arcade Fire that I realized I don't know shit. I was just listening to this, and what was kind of swirling around in my head, and I don't know, but the Let's Get Weird song, I was like, oh, Faye, things are about to get really weird back then. I don't know. So that was a lot.
Yeah.
And I kind of been walking out of rooms, leaving faucets running and stuff. Hi, Francis.
Hi, Francis. I was so bad with the chat last week because I was doing a lot of screen sharing, so I don't want to. Hi, Soul Alpha. So nice. Wheels is going
I
to be
need
on
a
later.
cool name.
Huh?
I need a cool name. I need like a cool. My name's just my name.
Yeah. M10. That's my name. But
M10.
anyway,
Show off those sleeves. Show off those.
oh,
Yeah.
hold on. I think we have to zoom out. We have to zoom out
Ooh,
for my Art Deco. Don't I look
I
like I should
love
be at like the what's that big dam? The Hoover Dam or the Empire State Building?
the Hoover
Like,
Dam, the one that's going to have a false flag for the last 10 years. They're like,
yeah,
this year, this is my one prop. I got my Clown World Cousins roses. You're
very
pretty.
pretty.
I don't think they're natural. Do they?
No, those are dyed, but
I
they're
know,
still beautiful.
joking. With my dumb
Oh,
jokes.
so hold on, back to so I was trying to like think about like, all right, what was 2022 like? I mean, really, like, so we had 2020, 2021, but then 2022, like that little what was that, like a meme thing that I put as our announcement. It's like 2019, the clown starts putting on his makeup, and then it
Yeah.
progresses to him having his wig on. He's ready to go. But I don't know, was it an eventful year, 2022? What do you think?
On a personal level, it was for me, I guess. Hi,
Happy
Ceiling
New Year.
Fan. Happy New Year. We had such a good time on your show. That was so fun. Thank you for having little old us on your show. Maybe someday you can come on our show, Ceiling Fan Man. I was
Ooh.
so nervous and excited. I like forgot to. He's so nice. We'd love to have Jeannie too. Even I know Jeannie doesn't like to be on camera, but we'd love to interview the woman behind the man, the Ceiling Fan Man.
That's what I was saying to you.
Yeah, I'd love to
That'd be
talk to him.
fun. All
So
right. So
anyway,
anyway, back to
2022.
2022.
I mean, I don't know. Like, how you go? I don't know. I got to think about that one.
I mean, there were things like we started seeing like severe inflation really getting out of control and things like that. But as far as like my personal life, it was kind of a banner year. I started my garden. I got
It
my
was
bees.
you started your amazing garden. You're being humble. That was like it had its own fence around it. Like you could
It's
have fed
beautiful. It's a
you
little
could have fed your
Eden.
neighborhood. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's like my little garden of Eden. Even though I don't do Eden growing, but that's a whole thing. But hold on, really exciting, Faye. I know that this week we're going to have a heat wave here. Like today, it was 63 degrees in Boston, which broke all kinds of records. We're going to be in a heat wave for the next week. Okay. But we know there, every year we do have like kind of that January thaw, they call it.
Mhm.
But we know it's going to get cold again. But what is exciting for me is in 2 weeks, I start seeds. I start my seeds. I start like my onions. I start winged beans, things like that. So spring is in the air, no matter what, even though it's the dead of winter.
Amen. I will take the positivity because I definitely suffer from seasonal depression. I'm a summer soul, and I would, if I had my way, I would live in Mexico, and I'm not even kidding. I want my one wardrobe to be sundresses with like the occasional light sweater that you need. I don't like winter,
Yeah.
but I can't really complain too much about this winter. But you
Oh,
know
yeah.
what? It doesn't matter. I wish it would snow to cover up all the trash because on my hour-long walk today, all I see on the ground are masks and empty liquor bottles. It's like, people, we might have a problem. And there's a
Yes.
lot of them.
There's actually a lot of information out there that says in 2020, people started drinking a lot more, and they've kind of not. Hold on, let me show this.
Yeah.
This is my very special wine this evening. This is my 2020 grape harvest. That is now beautiful, delicious wine, but I have to drink it
Well,
sparingly.
your wine, and I don't blow smoke. Your wine, your homemade wine was the most delicious wine I ever had. It was delightful. Like it made me feel really good.
Yeah, but people are drinking, and also yeah, people are drinking. It's funny because, like, I don't know. I don't know. It's like everybody's so traumatized. It's not funny at all.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
even when like my son's playing a video game and like they get into it and he starts like yelling, I'm like, you can't do that to me. I'm like, mommy has PTSD and
Mm.
I'm not exaggerating. Like it really like it goes through me, it scares me. I'm just it is. It hides my fingers.
Hi.
I'm like talking about I'm like, yeah, I'm a fraidy cat. I try to like, and that's one thing I struggle with God because the biggest command is do not be afraid. Well, I mean, I'll
That's
try.
that's different. That's like your nerves. I always say to my kids, like, just stop. My nerves are on the floor.
Yeah,
That's just an expression. But it's weird that you say that, Faye, because I started looking into, like, is it me? Do I have like a sensory like
yeah.
disorder where like loud noises seriously put me automatically into a panic?
You know what you need to tell me again about, and everyone out there, everyone, all of our fans, tell them, tell them about because I think that like you had told me, and I was like, oh my God, you're so right. But then we had the beautiful young love on, who I talked to on
Mhm.
text. We're gonna talk to her again when she gets her tech issues. So thank you, love. That was a very nerve-wracking night for me. So thank you, young love, for coming on and talking to us. And then we were with
Right.
CFM. But you had told me about Second Shock, and I don't think we talked about it on the stream. And I think that you're so right. Did you talk about it on when we were
Yeah,
on?
I'd mentioned it, that it's like it's almost like the stages of grief. So people go through what when people are traumatized, obviously they'll go through the grieving process. And then from 18 to 36 months out, they'll go through what's called second shock, which is a second grieving process. And I do think we're seeing that like a lot more. I don't know. It's we're all like Soul Alpha. He said, yeah, I don't know if we can say this word, but
Yeah, it
anyway, it
messed a lot of
messed
people up.
yeah,
Yeah, and
and
just our sick society in general that is just like anti-human. Go ahead, Mary.
no, no,
I'll
no,
tell you about
you cut
I'll tell
out
you
for
about a
me.
little
What did you say?
encounter I had.
You cut out for me,
We
Faye. What did you say?
Oh no, we're it's a sad state of affairs. I mean, we do have to focus on the positive and things like, of course. And there's so many blessings. I work one morning still at the spa that Mary, next time I quit my job at the spa to go take care of dogs, will you say maybe make me think about it? Like it's like, hey, you're giving up the cushiest job in the world to go do the hardest job, one of the hardest. But you know what?
Yeah.
If I had $1 for every time Joe said I need to toughen up, it's only 12 hours a week. But like it's okay. But anyway,
Mm,
at the spa, this woman, and she's a really, really nice woman. She's very churchianity, and I've spoken about her before. And she's going to Aruba in 2 weeks, which is good because she needs it. And so at least there's that, which I reminded her of. Not the vacations or everything, but I was just like, "Hi, how are you?" And she's like, "Faye, I can't. I'm so miserable." She's like, "I'm crying on the drop of a dime." She's
mm,
like, "I just can't. I don't know how I'm going to go on. I'm estranged from my children, and I'm just like, I know it's so hard, and she's like, it's just not okay. And I go, you know what? I said, I go, it's not okay. Things aren't okay. And I said, we're being gaslit by commercials and TV. And I didn't say it, but by your church, most likely, that everything's okay. And it's not. But I said that I was like, you need to be planning your outfits and getting your nails done for Aruba. And I'm like, that'll make you feel better. Believe me, they call it the happy island for a reason. But
mm.
I felt for her, like just for her to
Yeah.
say something. She's not that close to me, and there's a lot of sad people around, and sometimes I'm
Um,
one of them.
yeah. Anyway, Soul Alpha, I'm pretty sure that you can say it over in chat. I just don't think that I can vocalize it. But so anyway, but yeah,
You're frozen. I don't know if people can
I
still
might
hear
buffer.
me. You're back.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on. I have full bars, but anyway, and way more drug use, so it killed a lot of people that way too.
Hey, I'm the first one to admit if I didn't have those two babies and I take care of my husband too, but those two babies that I'm responsible for that I chose to bring into this world, I would have been dead probably a year and a half ago by drugs and alcohol. I don't know how people do it sober. I don't know how people do it sober. And I've said it before. I give hats off to you. But Mary, you and I have talked about this. It's going to be 2023. They could make alcohol that doesn't give you a hangover, but they love it. You know?
Or a pill that you can take for a hangover. It's like there's all these things that kind of help for a little while, but anyway, that's a
Yeah.
story for another day. But yeah, with people, I think it's still people are what is it, cognitive dissonance, where they're, I don't know, or is it just they're yeah, or is it just that they don't want to think about it, so they don't think about it, and they're
I think people are just I've kind of had a taste of what people probably feel like because like as I said a couple weeks ago when we talked, and great stream by the way last week with Cage Girl, she's fascinating.
Mhm.
But a couple weeks ago I said I was too busy. At the end of the day right now I'm working 20 hours a week outside of the home. Most people would kill to work 20 hours a week. But the thing is, it's three different places. So I'm always like going around and I have to be somewhere. And I'm going to have to change something because it's stressing me out. So I feel like people just are going to get to work. They're doing their next thing. I don't know.
Mm.
People are different though. There are NPCs. Did a huge, so stores chores on Thursday. Hey, John Boy.
John Boy, he thinks it's a good idea. He thinks I'm onto something. I'm going to patent it once I discover it.
Bill? Yeah, please, you'll be a bazillionaire. So I went to the grocery store on Thursday and it has been a while. So I did something I rarely do. I did a huge, like $400 shop. Okay. So my carrot was burnt seams. And I have to admit, like I kind of felt like a little bit of an a-hole with that because prices are up and most people didn't have that much in their cart. As I was looking around, I was like, listen, I haven't shopped in a while. But it was like NPC Central. I'm driving home with all these groceries in my car. And then I'm driving on this random street. And at the same time, on both sides of the street, these two like NPCs with masks come out. It wasn't even a walkway. So I had to like slam on my brakes. Tell me that's not, those weren't real people. So I like slammed on my brake. All my grocery bags come like, forward. I'm worried, oh, did I break my eggs? And so we're not all the same. I am a believer in NPCs. Those two characters that came out from both sides of the street at the same time, not on a walkway, both wearing a face diaper, as they that's my exhibit A for the NPC argument.
Yeah, I don't believe in. Yeah, Mike, it keeps lagging. I don't know if it's on my end or yours. So I just shut off my camera for a minute until the bars come back up. But I'm not a fan of the whole NPC thing. I'm not. I think it's another way for people to make themselves superior because I was thinking about it. If you went up to somebody and you're like, "Are you an NPC?" They'd be like, "No," and then you'd be like, "Well, how do you know you're not?"
Right.
And then it's like, post those questions to yourself. How do I know I'm not an NPC?
Right.
So
I kind of agree with you. And it's like, it's kind of dehumanizing. It's kind of a way like, oh, they're not human. And I mean, that could be a scary road to go down. But the problem is, Mary, is that if you're driving alone in your car and you're wearing one of these, then you probably are an NPC. Like,
they're just brainwashed. Like, I do think that we're dealing with people that are pretty much they're very robotic at this point. It's like when you think about what their lives must be like, you could imagine that they, don't have a lot of opinions of their own. What?
They're not allowed to have opinions.
Well, I just don't think that they have any critical thinking ability. I mean, if that's what it takes to be an NPC, then yes, there are a lot of them. But as far as like, I'm pretty sure like people just kind of go home and live their lives. And just because I can't see it doesn't mean
Mhm.
their lives don't exist. I don't know. Just me personally. I know it's a very popular thing. Hold on, wait. Um, I yeah. That's interesting, John Boy. That's it. So yeah, I mean, maybe they're okay. Red pill brainwashed
I agree
people.
with Soul Alpha. I do, and unfortunately, I'm probably related to a few of them, but I don't know. I
Mm-hmm.
just it's like the weird I don't know. It's luckily for me, I am not the judge or jury. So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
go
yeah.
but I'm just saying when I'm driving home trying to get my $400 worth of groceries, which is a huge shop, which is why I'm like one of those I'd rather go to the grocery store every day for 10 minutes than do a big shop. It was hell. I had to get out of there. But like when I'm driving down the street and two at the same time with diapers on their face come out really fast. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, it just seemed really video game like at the time.
Yeah, he doesn't mean that NPCs are fake people because there are different almost definitions of what an NPC is. So like if you're thinking about the world being a simulation or like the Matrix, then they would be literally like an NPC in a video game,
Hmm.
but then if you think about it like, oh, real, the world is real and whatever, then it's just a bunch of morons. Oh, that
The
is that too
world
hard?
is crazy. The world today, did you see all the X's in the sky today?
Mm. You know
Hi,
what? I
Snoop.
didn't. It was too beautiful outside, and I was pretty much working in the ground, so I honestly didn't even look up, believe it or
The
not.
world is just crazy. What was going on in the sky overhead? It was just, and then I had to go to the grocery store with Joe for a few things. And I hate grocery stores, but then again, I'm so thankful for food and just, it's such a weird world. And like, but who
Yeah.
am I to say to God that, like, I wouldn't have created it this way? Like, it's just like, I just wanted to, this isn't my cup of tea.
He didn't create it this way.
He
That's
didn't.
see, that's the key.
Well, amen.
We created it this way. But
Mic
yeah.
drop. Love it, Mary.
So Sola Alpha definitely agrees with you on this. John Boy says, "That's me. I hate the store." Faye, you said you went to the store. You got a $400 haul. What the heck did you have to go back for? You should have been good for a month.
Well, that's because it's me shopping. You would think I'm like, I need 10 boxes of rice-a-roni. I don't know what to get. What do you think? I had a list for $400? All I know is I had to stock up. Like I just hadn't gone in a while, and
Yeah,
oh, it was awful. But it was a good workout pushing that carriage. But I felt like such a scumbag with like that full cart and like Mary, like and you have a huge family, and like you have
yeah.
like two full carts like every couple weeks, and I know no one cared, but like one lady was like, "Oh, you can go before me. Your cart's so big." And I felt like explaining it to her. I was like, "Oh no, this is for a whole month." Like it's like, Faye, no one knows you, no one cares. But I like felt the
That's
need to explain to her.
what is that about? What is that about? Okay, so yes, I have a large family, and I would say once a week I do a full cart, and then there's always like run back down and get milk, run back down and get cat food, like little things that you run out to grab, right?
Yeah,
Every freaking time I'm at the grocery, not every time, a lot of the time, I feel like being like, yeah, I haven't been food shopping for like 10 days and these kids are eating me out of house. It's like that. Why am I sitting there, first of all, lying to people? I was just
yeah.
here 5 days ago. And why do I feel like the need to justify what I'm
Totally.
buying with my own money? It's not like I'm like on Snap or something. I just get,
Honestly, it was probably no one was even looking at me, but in my head, because it was protruding. It was like I had to buy a lot. I had to buy a lot of rice roni and a lot of other crap. Okay, I had to, you know what it was? It was like mom's guilt. It's like I haven't been to the grocery store in a while, so let's do this. But I felt like almost everyone I walked by, and I was looking in their carriages, and it was so small. But then Joe reminded me, he's like, "Faye, it's the week after Christmas. people have leftovers. They don't need stuff. And and the
Mm.
truth is, no one's probably even looking at me. I
Nobody's
totally
looking
did
at
explain.
you.
Even the cashier, I did explain too, and because like I went
Yeah.
on and on and on, and no one wanted to get behind me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I was like fidgeting with my money and stuff. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't usually do this big of a shop. Like I just had to like say that to
Yes.
her,
Like, oh my gosh, hold on. I got to put on my spectacles here, guys. You guys are having some
I was
interesting
gonna do mine without my
conversation.
spectacles, but I can't do it. I need them. I need my spectacles.
See, I have to wear distance and reading.
I
Okay,
like calling them spectacles. That adds a little nuance. Nice,
spit on
Mary.
myself. Hold on. It's weird people still talking about that. Absolutely. And they're bringing,
So,
I don't know, Soul Alpha, if you saw Wheels his stream last night, but he was talking about out in California that they're like trying to I think like make it a permanent thing or bring them back full force. I mean, these people get
oh,
what
there are people, quote unquote, that want this to be permanent. They want it to be permanent. They want people,
they
especially they want people at work to be wearing them all the time. It's really
yeah.
it's really upsetting, and they can't get their way. It's pushed the world into such a place that I literally I can't. I didn't sign up for this. This isn't I have to breathe. I'm a human being. Go ahead. What does Stu say? I love Stu.
Transhumanism to the Great Reset. Gates and Bezos are now funding the Neuralink. I also believe that that will be the mark of the beast. Now, this is interesting because we kind of again, Wheels kind of touched on this last night, and Wheels will be joining us in a little bit. But this whole idea that like Elon Musk is like, one of us, and everything that he's doing for like the truth movement, and and it's like this guy is the Neuralink guy.
He's the brain chip guy.
That it's like, why are we act anyway? I don't want to ignore the chat, Faye, but if you have anything, you just jump right in, sister.
No, I don't. I mean, he's such an actor, and he's definitely like a creepy. He's a FTM or some sort of creature. Trinity 4, and it's not even Trinity 4's style. He's like a flat Earth guy.
Okay.
He does videos like mostly by himself. Sometimes with his wife. They have an adorable boy that has this awesome hair. But anyway, he did a video on Elon Musk, and it's not even his thing. And he said, he's like, guys, this isn't even my thing, but look at this. And he was analyzing Elon Musk on a yacht, and just like the body, and he's a pretty smart guy that was doing this video. He's like, he is wearing a bodysuit, and he was like showing like the creases and how it wasn't even natural. I can send it to you. But I just thought it was kind of like interesting that this guy who isn't even, I consider him kind of like a high level truther guy. Not saying that it's low level, but it's just everywhere. The whole trans thing in our face all the time. And I think that Elon is a.
Oh, are you talking about transhumanism, or you're talking about the gender
trans? FTM. I think that Elon is probably an FTM. Either way, he's a creep, and I don't know why anyone listens to him.
Because it's tempting.
Honestly, wait. I'm so sorry, guys. Are you spinning your spectacles?
My spectacles are going round and round because now I'm thinking
that you can't do that. That's not good for your spectacles. You're gonna break them. Sorry.
His kids' names are sigils. But this is the thing about Elon Musk that I will say, sometimes I'm like, yes, I can't believe he's saying this. And then
it's like I thought about Andrew Tate. Go ahead. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Andrew Tate.
The guy that's like women need to be put in their place and men have to take care of them.
Oh,
like, yes, please take care of me. Put me in my place. I'm so tired. Go ahead, Mary. So go ahead. So who are you saying?
Hold on. No.
Oh no.
Oh, that's, first of all, don't worry about me at all. And second of all, my goodness, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Glad you'll be okay, Frank.
Yeah, that still stinks. I hate that for him.
I
So
hate that. I hate that for any of us right now, having to go into the. It's like every day that you don't. It's when my kids start getting rambunctious. I mean, they're getting older, so they don't get too. I'm just like, I don't want to go to the hospital. Like that's the last thing I want to do. But Mary, I'm sorry, interrupted you rudely as I do. I'm so sorry.
no,
to put
you're
up with you. But
never
what did
rude.
you were saying about Elon? That like,
Yeah,
sometimes he's
sometimes I do fall into that, like, I don't know. Remember when he was like on Joe Rogan and we're all like, yeah, Elon.
yeah. I
Elon's smoking and he's just relaxing and he's
I
so
don't know. I don't remember that. No,
oh my
I don't
gosh,
like Joe Rogan, and I don't. No, no, no.
that
I've
was
never liked
big.
Joe Rogan.
That was like huge news. But anyway, so like, yeah, sometimes I'll be like, yeah, what is up with this Elon Musk? And then I have to remember, wait, no. This is the guy who is going to usher in a whole new reality. I mean, I do think he's a front man. I don't think that he's actually the brains behind. He's the front man
Yeah,
for probably a alphabet organization that's trying to usher this crap in, or the
I'm so
Antichrist.
sick of all of them. But then again, I'm addicted to YouTube drama. So, Faye, are you sick of it? What would you do if everything was nice and normal? I'd be spinning my spectacles. Like, what's going on? I'm forever calling glasses spectacles now because of you, because I love it.
All right, enough about Mr. Musk and Bezos and Gates and all the. I'm so over it. I need a new, like, oh, actually, no, God forbid. I don't need anything new, judging
Yeah.
by what I was about to say. I'm not even going to finish it. But so, yeah, what else? What else do you have, Faye?
I want some like wholesome. And I think that's we're gonna get into predictions, but so I'm so embarrassed, you guys. I'm gonna make a true confession that I kind of got sucked in. Oh, I got the best text of my life on Tuesday. I was supposed to work Wednesday through Friday at the doggy daycare, and I love those dogs so much. But she's usually closed this week. But this week she's gonna try to open this year. I get a
Mhm.
text on Tuesday, Faye. We're just really, really slow with the dog. I don't think we're gonna have a lot of dogs, so I don't need you to come in. I might as well have done cartwheels down the street. I was like, I didn't care about the money. I was like, it's Christmas week. I don't need to be taking care of those dogs. I love them all. But so I kind of started binge watching something. It's so embarrassing.
Tell me.
Housewives of Miami.
Oh, okay. That's not that bad.
They're a very colorful bunch. Just for the outfits alone, and there's a lot of ocean background. But so one of the ex-wives, they're all ex-wives, by the way, is Scottie Pippen. He's like some big basketball guy, and her name's Larsa. I don't know, but she's making $10,000 a day on OnlyFans, and she's like a Kim Kardashian like lookalike. When she was younger, they show pictures of them as a family. They were together for 20 years, which is kind of sad. Like
Wait,
you can tell.
hold on. I'm kidding. So one of the housewives has an OnlyFans.
Yes.
How old is she?
Probably
Too damn
about
old.
her oldest son is about to go into the NBA. Big surprise. I
Mm,
know. But when she was younger, she was a smoke show, in my opinion. Like she was smoking hot.
whatever.
And
She's
by the
too
way, like,
darn
I love
old
checking
to
out
be.
women. Today when I was watching Wheels, I don't have a lot of time to sit down, but I was listening to Wheels and I put on a walking tour of the Amalfi Coast in Italy. It's like, Faye, you are checking out these ladies as much as the coast, because like they all had their like Italy outfits on. But anyway, over the years, she's about our age, and she just turned into a Kim Kardashian. And it's so plastic. And my son's
No,
sitting
no,
there watching me degrade myself watching this crap. And I go, Dorian, there's two things you're never bringing into this house with a woman. She's not going to be blue pilled, and she's not going to be plastic. Like the lady's ass is like this big. I'm not trying to be mean, but that's
no.
a
Hold
lot of
on. Okay, you have to
So
Okay.
my prediction, so one last thing.
Okay, go
My
ahead.
prediction is that natural beauty is going to make a huge
It's
comeback.
already coming back. First of all, Kim
Yay.
Kardashian already got her ass removed.
She got
Okay.
an ass. She got
She
an
got it.
ass removal.
Yes. And also, guys, just out of curiosity, I clicked on an interview with her being interviewed by this woman. I forget the woman's name. It was the most boring conversation. It wasn't even like, I don't know, like it was a little like vapid with the whole like, but it was just boring. I'm like, why did
Who
people?
was it? A Kim Kardashian interview?
Yeah,
Oh yeah. I told. Oh, they're. Yeah, yeah.
absolutely boring. It's like who? Anyway, that
It
makes
is
me
what it is.
pop culture drives me insane because it's like who's listening to this dope? I mean, literally, fine, be in Playboy and put out your sex videos, but that's it. Just go do that and stop acting like, my staff has a color palette. It's not exactly a uniform, but it's like, who the heck
Because
cares?
they were all about pushing materialism.
Personality for fruit fly.
That's what the whole world is. It's spirituality. She does, Frank. She does. The whole family has a personality of a fruit fly. It's crazy. But
The
like the
pit.
plastic, I'm glad the plastic's gonna go out of style. So that's one victory. If we can just make the plastic go out of style with the duck lips and the fake asses and even the fake boobs, like I mean, seriously. You
Mm.
know, if I was gonna get something, at least I can see my boobs in the mirror. You know what I mean? I to pay for an ass that I can't even see, I don't understand it. I don't get it.
Anyway, so I guess like a lot of black and brown people are upset that Kim Kardashian abused their aesthetic, and now she's going very like she at that point she was, remember, very dark, and she had the big butt and the big boobs, which
Yeah.
is, I mean, this is black and brown people saying this. I'm not doing it, but they're really pissed off. They're like, you used our aesthetic and now you're going to a white girl aesthetic. Talk about, what do you call that, Faye, when they do that? What is it called when?
Grifting. Grifting. Take it just
Yeah.
what else is new with the brothers and the sisters? You know how I feel. They're always being used. There is a hierarchy, okay? God makes a hierarchy. And in the reality, I think they're pretty high up there. They're very spiritual people. Fluffy Mancoon, #1. What's he going to say?
Oh boy, once again with the Marxists. The Marxists and the communists. You can almost,
Yeah.
the terms.
And I'm hearing it in his voice, Mary.
Mhm.
You know, I like to hear it in his voice, and he's very serious. Love you,
Yeah.
Mike.
He's quite intelligent.
He
Whatever.
is.
At least he thinks before he speaks, unlike
Yeah,
me.
you know what? You know what? No one paid me again $10,000 to go to California for my opinion on anything. Oh, I'm sorry, $10,000 a month in a haunted house.
Yeah. Where the heck is Wheels? Wheels, come on. I think he said like around 7:45.
I have to
But
go get my own wine because Joe's at a basketball game.
go
My son-
ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll be right
Yeah, go
back.
now before Wheels comes on.
Good
I'll
idea.
talk to the, let's see what the chat is saying. There are a bunch of etch a sketches nowadays. I wish I could remember like the stupid, but anyway, I mean, what a waste of time, right? Even wasting my God-given breath on the Kardashians. So yeah, whatever. It's just pop culture. I don't think it's that much of a reflection on our society. That much. I do think like most people don't sit around wondering what Kardashians are doing. What's this? Schwab's. Oh. Okay, so you're talking, yeah, and others are zealots for Lucifer. That's true. Do is saying, first commandment, they are forcing people to believe in things. Scientism is that that will never actually be in the afterlife in heaven with the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Holy Ghost. That's old school. Calling it the Holy Ghost.
I like it.
Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like so I feel like these people are kind of I don't know. There's so much to wonder about. Like you've heard people say that like what's going on in Eastern Europe right now is basically the front of one new world order agenda versus another new world order agenda. Have you ever heard that?
I don't know much about that. All I know is that the second that Zelensky character was introduced to me, I was said no. I
Oh no
reject
no
it.
no no no. He would be so that would be the like the Schwabs, you know, the Agenda 2030. That group would that would be the dividing line right there. But then the other line would be the BRICS people, being like Brazil, Russia, uh, what is it? I forget the other ones. China's in there, South Africa. I forget what the India. India is the I. You know, and they're the ones. They're anyway taking over the world, and we're losing. Um,
I mean, if they keep putting up the Starbucks' rainbow flags and McDonald's, they can have the world. I'm good. I'm not
mm,
interested in this world. There's litter everywhere. Every building looks the same. Everyone's miserable. Like, you really want to take it over? You guys want to live forever? Have at it. I'm not looking forward to getting old, and I'm not looking forward to ever being dependent on these psychopaths. But it I'm sorry. Like, I didn't answer your question at all. Because you know why? Because like the whole like they're taking over the because I know that there's like entities that want to take over the world and be in control. It's like I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't like they're not the same as Mary, would you ever want to be in charge of the world even if it was like offered to you? Like Jesus on the top of the mountain. He was offered it. He said no.
yeah, it'd be like I would say it would be a lot like when in the Lord of the Rings when they offered Gladriel the Ring of Power. Uh,
Mary, yes, it would. You would be like, I'm thinking about it. I do have 8 children. It would be
we will
great.
have a mighty queen. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be me. And then I'd be like, okay, I've passed the test. Now I'm going to go into the, shadow world or wherever she went off to.
I
What about
love
you?
it. So, no, but that is so funny because that is you because you would think about it and you would like me. I would be like, no, you got the wrong person. No, I'm not. I'm not. I don't want to be in charge. I don't want to be in charge of anything. How's that? Like, that's not my life. I don't know what
Mm.
that's called, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't
What?
like to be in charge. It's too much responsibility.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely a personality thing. I don't mind. I don't mind pretending I'm in charge, but I'm not in
Yeah.
charge. I'm not in, what am I in charge of? Folding the laundry? Oh, Frank, here's the burn I was talking about.
I was
Making
gonna
dinner,
ask you. I did. Are you okay?
making dinner, doing laundry.
That's a bad burn, Mary. Right? Yikes.
Oh, as beautiful and as terrifying as yes. I love that. I love that for me.
It goes with your shirt too, like with your wings. I love it.
Art Deco, very but
Yeah, we're doing sparkly for New Year's, by the way, guys.
all
The
right.
nanny's getting the jet ready. I'll be in Vegas by midnight. It's gonna be great.
I am going to DM Wheels. Maybe he DM'd me. Let's see. Wheels, where are you? You can talk. You don't have to watch me text.
I'm just thinking about my one sip of red wine. It makes my face a tomato. So yeah, anyway.
Wait.
Did you notice my nails, Mary? I have color on my nails. I never do
Very pretty.
that. I like it. I'll get it taken off like in 2 days. I can't
Yeah.
What did Will say?
Um, he said I'll be there.
Yeah, I
So
really liked his title, Living in a World Where There's No Accountability. I really thought
yes.
about that. That's really where we're at, and it's discouraging, you know? But
Yeah. I mean, I do like the fact that we can take personal accountability, but yeah, where does that get us? It gets us into basically like being the only ones taking any personal accountability. We're dealing with in a world that has lost any semblance of morality. Like I'm talking generally, as like a culture. Speaking of the Kardashians and, you know, but
yeah.
it's like morality does it seems to be in decline. So, I mean, even if these people do take accountability or they want you to take accountability, what are they taking accountability for? Or what do they expect you to take accountability for? Everything is so messed up at this point.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's I
Hmm.
hate to say it. I said to Joe the other day, I was sleep. We were telling you about sleep. Sleep has been very hard to come by. I know Mary, you've been talking about this for a while. The last 2 nights, it almost feels, and I know I'm a crazy conspiracy theorist, but it feels weaponized.
Hmm.
Um, when I am able to finally doze off to sleep, I feel like I've been asleep for 5 minutes and I wake up. And when I wake up, there are pins and needles from my head to my toes, and it's not fun. Like I've had to go the last 2 nights, I had to go in my hot tub. Once was at 1 in the morning and the other one is at 12. And it was just to like calm down my skin. Um,
Uh-huh.
and then I would get then you get yourself all cozy again, you finally drift off, and, I wake up again, and it keeps
Oh,
happening, and then every time I wake up, my skin feels like that. Sleep has been very hard to come by, I'm very irritable about that. It's I don't like it.
yeah.
How about you?
Oh, well, I was saying that a while ago that I was like, has anybody else been noticing like poor sleep patterns? And I think Boston Ray was here. He's like, I sleep great. It's like,
Yeah.
Boston Ray, you're up all night, bro. I know your schedule because he's always
Yeah.
on the line.
I
But
have I have to sleep. Like this is a big deal. So if there's any
mhm.
tips, I've got the Z Quill. I do everything, and I have a very comfortable bed. I'm blessed. And Joe is so sweet. He's a snorer and he'll sleep on the couch for me. You
Wow,
know,
yeah.
he's so sweet. Like, he doesn't have to do that. He pays for this house and this bed. Well, I do too to a point, but it's like, I'm like the princess and the pea up here. Like I have a very
Oh,
comfortable
yes.
situation, but I can't. I don't like it. And then the other night when I finally fell asleep, I had a dream that there were these guys chasing me in a van that wanted to put a chip in my brain because I probably had some podcast on about Elon
Uh,
Musk or something. And I was on back on like I was back at my father's fire station, and I was running from these guys in a van, and I like got to the fire station, and the firemen were very helpful. They saved me, and then I woke up. And I felt like crap and pins and needles all over my body again. I
mm.
don't feel comfortable in my own skin. I really don't. I don't know how many of us out there do, but I told
Maybe
Joe
you should transition. Maybe you're a man trapped in a
probably what it is. That's probably what it is. I've always thought
What?
my voice was a little low, and no. I've been hetero since the day I was born. I've been boy. Well, hetero was I could still like boys no matter what I was.
Yeah,
am.
maybe you're a gay man.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
only teasing.
no,
But no,
that
I know.
yeah,
But anyway, so yeah, there's a lot I think spiritually going on. It's funny because when I was saying to Wheels that I wanted him to come on and talk about, our predictions for 2023 and things like that. He was like, yeah, but we have to be careful not to like manifest this. And then I started getting like really paranoid. Oh, I'm not manifesting anything. I'm just Oh my gosh. If I was manifesting stuff, could you imagine we would have like pasta falling from the sky, like cloudy with a chance of meatballs. It's like
I
none
don't
of it.
know. Going
I,
forward, I'm still spelling the word busy.
mm. Yeah.
Because I talked about it. I was like, well, I'm gonna get these part-time jobs. It's gonna be great, and I have all this time on my hands, so I'm gonna fill it up. And I do believe
But
in the power of manifestation, but
I know you do.
I don't. But I'm not. We're not all powerful either. I don't know. I don't know anything.
So John
What
Boy
is
says
so?
sleep a few hours, up several. Sleep a few hours, up several. Uh get smart
Yes,
devices away from your bed when you
that's what you. Thank you, Stu. And you know what I do? I have to cut the cord. I have to cut the cord before. You know what, Stu and Stu? I'm so glad you're here today because I used to sleep to Zeph Daniels. Zeph is the man. Zeph is the best of the best. And sleeping to Zeph would be kind of hard because sometimes I put on his music, which is in his wakes me up, and that's kind of why. Like, if you guys ever hear me say I don't like streams that play music, the only reason is because I'm usually trying to nap or lay down. But you're so right, Stu. Joe says I have to cut the cord. Before this thing was here, I used to go to bed. Remember that? I used to just go to bed. We used to read a book. We used to read a book before bed, Mary. At least I did.
Yes, definitely something I am trying to bring back into my own personal life is also I'm sick of people telling me what to think. How about I read something, I sit through a book and I come to my own conclusions, because remember I was telling you, Faye, that was I telling you or was I telling did I mention this to you? I may have. Trying to break the algorithm, right? And I was like, I can't break this algorithm. It's like I broke it for a day and now I'm right back in this exact same algorithm. The easiest way for me to break the algorithm is to get the heck offline, pick up a book of my choosing. The algorithm doesn't pick the book for me that I'm about to read. I choose that book. I sit down, I read it, and I come to my own conclusions. How about that?
I think that that's amazing. And I think that I'm going to be thinking about that a lot. And between what you and Stu just said, like, I'm sitting here being like, I don't know. I think there's like some sleep weaponization going on. It's like, really, Faye? Maybe you're on your screen all day too much. Maybe you're flipping through and if you don't like one podcast, you're going to another and like it's getting your brain. You never let your brain rest. There's your
Mm.
weaponization. So yeah, that's going to be I have to. It's going to be I'm going to get a book.
Nobody bears full. I just, again, as I said, I don't want to neglect the chat like I totally did last week. Yeah, not the flesh. Oh, anyway, it's true, but did it have to be said?
The flesh is rotting. Soul, you get that
Yeah,
right.
we are souls. The flesh is rotting. Wah, wah. But yes, absolutely true. I know.
It's
We
so
are
much harder
capable
for
of
women. I want to kill the feminists. It's like, you know what I mean? I have so many more steps in my day. And I'm not talking about like exercise steps. Like, I have so much more crap I have to deal with than Joe does. It's like, yeah, feminists, let's be equal to men. Are you crazy? And it's like, no.
See,
Yeah, John was
John
right.
Boy thinks we're capable of manifesting, whether it's good or bad. I don't know. Again, another thing that I've been down kind of the rabbit hole on, like with the NPCs, and it's the type of thing where I will say, by my nature, I'm quite argumentative as it is. So when I'm listening to something, at first I'll be like, "Oh yeah, 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 yeah," but then after a while, I start hearing more and more people say it. I have to be like, "Wait a minute, have we considered this? Have we considered that?" And I think it's just healthy to do that. If I come back around and I'm like, all right, yeah, we can I mean, isn't no. See, this I was about to say, isn't prayer trying to manifest, but not if you believe in a creator God, a higher power, not the universe. I'm talking an actual being, then you're not trying to manifest it. You want them to manifest it. So I'm all over the map with that, to be honest.
Yeah, I pray. I still start every day of my life praying because I don't know how to get out of bed without doing it. But I need to go into my prayer life a little bit more too. I gotta start back at the spiritual. I'm getting into like my personal, and it's probably not even like the real new year or whatever, but I do like resolutions. I'm pretty good at following them. But no, no, this is a new time, new place, and it is really. I'm gonna have to cut the cords on tech a little bit.
Definitely. Definitely stop being spoon-fed information. I mean, isn't that why you hated law school and probably why I hated college? It's like, yeah, but the whole yeah, but is what makes us, you know, our my mother's daughter and your father's daughter. you know?
Absolutely. I wouldn't have any other way. That's funny that you bring up law school because I was thinking about when I was in law school today, and I went for a one semester, and that was enough for me. And I'll never like these heroic moments you have in your life. I don't know if people have them, but I like literally stood up in a lecture hall with at least 200 other students arguing with this professor that like no, that's wrong, it's wrong, that law is immoral, it's immoral. And he was
Mm.
like, and everyone was looking at me like I was crazy, and I looked around at all these people and I was like, should I just leave?
Do you remember
Like
what it was?
it came up that if you were defending somebody that had killed a child, and the client told you that they had killed the child, and they told you where the child was buried, as their lawyer, it would be illegal for you to tell anyone, including the family, where that child was. And my wires got crossed, and I was like, that's wrong, that's wrong. And but in front of 200 people that were all looking at me like, they're like, I'm gonna be a lawyer, I'm gonna make a lot of money, like, what are you talking about? And I don't mean to be mean to all of them, but that was the moment I knew. I was like, this isn't for me. Like, you guys can have your word salad all day, but that's wrong. If I'm
Yeah.
defending someone that's accused of killing a child, and I know where that child's buried, and this family can't sleep at night because of some stupid laws that human beings made.
Yeah, but you know what you could
Jesus.
do? You could always call in an anonymous tip. Like that's what I okay, so I do think that in our country we have an amazing judicial process, right? I love that people are innocent until proven guilty. Now, maybe in the court of public opinion, not so much, but once they step into that courtroom, it has to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. That's great because we've seen people literally get away with murder. you know, Unfortunately, we've also seen in some backwards cases people that were put away and they're completely innocent. So I do believe that due process is almost. Oh my gosh, is it okay to say that that kind of immoral choice is necessary? I'm talking about the immoral choice of the defense attorney is necessary in order to defend their client. I don't know. That's where ethics get involved. Mm.
It is. There was no ethics in law school. It was just it was a long time ago. And then I came home to Joe. I think it might have been that same night. I never thought I wanted children, but after
Yeah.
that day when everyone was looking at me like I was crazy, and I knew I didn't have like what was needed to do that. And I never wanted kids, but I knew that if I stayed in law school, I was going to be at least 50 grand in debt, at least. And that's an
Yeah.
at least.
Mhm.
And I would never have kids because I'm going to work at least, again, an underestimate 80 hours a week paying off. And I was like, okay, I'm at a crossroads. I'm either going to be a mother or I'm going to be a lawyer. And I'm so glad, as much as these two are the biggest pains in the butts, especially lately as teenagers. I love them so much, but
Sure.
they literally are ingrates. I picked being a mother. And on the mother thing, if there's any women out there listening, and men too, mothers and dads, especially of young kids, Joe and I are kind of realizing the biggest mistake we made as parents. And we have good kids, thank God. Like, I ran into the kids' school librarian, and she gushed and gushed over my kids. Like, my kids are the type of kids that only save their bull crap for me. But
Sure.
the one thing that I would, my one unsolicited advice, and I can't stress it enough, make your kids help around the house. Give them chores. Joe and I were kind of like lackadaisical on that. Like, I can do the laundry right. Joe's like, I can do this right. Like, it's just easier to do it yourself. Now we've got 2 teens that they're not really, and I know they're teens, but they don't help at all. And I love them to death, but you know, that would be my one advice.
My answer: 1, I will never do criminal law. 2, recuse yourself and drop a dime. Hold on. I think that, no offense, Fluffy Maine Coon 1. I think that law outside of criminal law is a waste of time. It's so boring. Oh, I'm going to write up this contract. It's going to be perfect, you know. But that's just my flavor. I come from a long line of police. So, in Soul Alpha, he has
Thank
nothing
you.
but respect for your decision there, Faye.
Well, thank you for being here. I've always been in the minority, and I'm sure you know how that feels, Soul. I've always been in the minority all my life. Even for like stupid things, like but that was one where I had at least 200 people looking at me like I had like octopuses crawling out of my nostrils.
If you're not blinded by psyops, the Holy Spirit will lead you. That's why Christ said he would send you. Yeah. That's Elohim.
Amen.
Wait, I thought Elohim was the creator God.
I think he's saying
messed up
that's
with the
God.
terminology.
I think he's just saying that's God with the sunglasses. Like, that's God. He's got us. The Holy Spirit. I love the Holy Spirit. I need a little bit more of it. I need to pray more for it.
All right. I don't know if something came up for. Yeah, I was about to say, I don't know if something came up for Wheels. Oh, let's see. My friend Sarah Knox is DMing me, but yeah, maybe.
Everything okay?
No. I just have to go on Discord. So I don't know. We are going to press on, I guess, with our New Year's. You want to start with resolutions? Even though I was talking to Frank about it, he's like, I hate resolutions. I don't believe in that. Yeah. And I will say, I always start my resolutions way before, but I still call them resolutions. I'm still resolute in it. But go ahead.
Well, I'm a big fan of resolutions. As an exercise instructor for 15 years, I believed in them. I encouraged people to do them, and I would help them follow through with them. And they're not always fitness related. Absolutely. For me personally, my resolutions, I need to be more spiritual, like just saying a prayer. Like I need, it comes down to, I need less time with this. Okay. I need less time with this. I need more time with this and this. And, that's it. I also need to find balance with taking care of my family and all my new jobs that I manifested, because I'm insane. I'm like, I want to work more. It's like, oh, Faye, yes, you are.
Oh, sorry, Frank. I'm sorry. I do have to correct this because I did not mean to misquote you. So I do apologize. Go ahead, Faye.
That's it. Less time with tech, more time. I need less time with tech. I'm addicted to YouTube as I started the stream. Like, I go to sleep to it. I wake up to it. Love all you content creators out there. Couldn't thank you enough. I love the truth. I love the drama. I'm like embarrassed. Like, I love the drama. And is it a coincidence that I started loving the YouTube drama? Because I can't help it. I can't, like, my life isn't that exciting. But now I'm watching Real Housewives of Miami. I think there is a connection, and I need to nip this thing in the bud. So just more spiritual, less tech time. That's my personal resolution. How about you, Mary? Personal resolution. And then we'll do predictions.
Okay. I also put the link out if anybody's interested in jumping up. So I was telling a group of friends, I've repeated this several times. I'm pretty determined in it. I want to get better with scripture. I know, Mandela affected and all, as you would say, Faye. I do want to get better with it because I feel like I absolutely stink when it comes to like, I'll be talking to people and I'll be like, frantic or upset, and they'll just give me a verse and it's like so perfectly placed, and it helps me, and I want to be that for other people. So that's one. Another one is definitely, I already explained that I want to, bring, I want to be in charge of my own algorithm. And if
Mm.
that means I have to sit through a bunch of really boring books, my husband got me a series of books on medieval farming. um, my
That sounds
daughter, my
so
daughter,
freaking boring. But
it's
you're
amazing.
I can't even imagine the wisdom that's in there.
That's
That
what I'm
like
saying.
yeah.
We have this idea that these people were a bunch of like ignorant whatevers. The
No,
first,
no, I don't
the
have that
first,
idea.
I know, but
Okay.
like I think a lot of people kind of generally
Of
would think that.
course. Yeah.
The first chapter is called The Scientific Method of Farming. It's like, yo, chill out with the scientific method of farming. So anyway, so I got those books. That's a 3-part series. Oh, thank God Wheels is here. And also my daughter got a college level course of textbooks on folklore because she loves folklore. She loves to know the
I
roots. And
love that. Yeah.
so I'm gonna take a look at those and just we'll see where the year takes us. Hold on, let me let
Hey,
Wheels up.
I love folklore. If there's anything like really good and you want to send it my way, like because we kind of have the same. I need to read at night. I need to be up here and not listening to a bunch of men on a panel. No offense, guys, but like you guys are getting really fighty out there on YouTube. Um, I need to like read. So folklore is definitely my cup of tea.
Mm.
Welcome, Hell on Wheels. Yay!
Hey, how you guys doing? Sorry for being a little bit behind. Buses in the rain.
Oh. It's fine. I just didn't know
It's
if like something came up or whatever. Wheels. That's why I was
yeah.
like, oh, where's Wheels? But anyway,
I'm just like I just thought it necessary to explain, like, rainy season in California. That's all. You know. So
I didn't know California had a rainy season. You guys are supposed to have perfect weather.
well, you wouldn't know. I'm pretty sure that the people who run California and who run the media surrounding California, um, they probably want you to forget that it rains here.
Yeah.
not in LA. It doesn't. When I was in LA, I was like, why is every freaking day the same? I hated it. But
Well, yeah,
go ahead.
that's so that that is like a different area, like California, but it's just I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of oh my God! No, don't make me representative of California. I don't want to
You know
have
what
to
that's
explain
from?
all that.
That's from that Green Day song. Is it American? No, Holiday. The representative from California has the floor. Anyway,
Oh,
hilarious.
wow, yeah. I should know at least a couple Green Day songs, but yeah. So I was gonna say, man, I'd be like, please don't make me representative of California. I don't want to have to explain California to people. Just like I don't understand it either. Thank you. Good night. I don't get it. Oh, by the way, I noticed earlier because I listened a little bit before I got on the bus, and I noticed earlier that you guys have also been picking up the habit of calling it California, which I appreciate. I think that that should just be the name of the state.
I totally
Wheels.
got that from you. I stole it, Wheels.
I'll
It's
never
gold.
Wheels. I'll never call it anything but California. And yes, I give you credit for that.
I think I'm the only person that I've ever heard call it that. So, yeah. So, so what are so I missed the last few minutes before I kind of showed up and crashed things. What
We
what were we
were
on about?
well, first of all, if I don't know if you heard earlier, it was a very nice gift this morning, Wheels, to wake up to your live stream. Because I love your style. You don't like try to cloud of like distract with music or anything. You're just straight to the point with your stuff. Of you, as usual, I agree with everything you say. And we are living in a world without accountability. So thank you for your stream. And then we were talking about other things. Who even knows with Mary and I? But before you jumped on, we were talking about resolution. We're getting into resolutions and predictions. So Mary and I both kind of agree that we need to get away from the screen a little more, as Mary says, control our own algorithm, like pick up a book or pick, and decide what's going to go in our brain. And then if you could tell, even if you don't do resolutions, tell us why or why not. And then we're going to get into predictions. Sound good, Wheels?
Yeah. So, for me, I'm kind of on the same wavelength because I have been slowly stepping away a little bit more from the Black Mirror.
Mm.
And also I am I have been a tech type of person for a long time. I was a Linux user for years. Like, I'm gonna go back to Linux, and I made because of I don't do New Year's resolution, but I made a promise to myself that at some point I was going to cut a lot of the corporate technology out of my life because there are versions of Android you can download that don't have the Google apps on them because Android's open source. And then, there's Linux because you know what? I was screwing around with Linux the other day and I realized I enjoy using my computer when I have to tinker with it a little bit and it doesn't
Mm.
all look the same. And
Mm.
there are various levels of like what you could do with Linux. So there are versions of Linux that even the most tech illiterate people can use as long as somebody installs it for them. There are Linux distributions that look exactly like Windows as far as style of presentation, but don't have like all the telemetry and stuff like that. And I'm not here to tell people that you can for sure get privacy. Like, I'm not one of those people that's like, hop on one foot when you sit in front of your computer, and I promise you that the Google algorithm won't be able to center your camera enough to see what you're doing. I'm not gonna be one of those people.
Wait, that doesn't work?
I don't know. I can't hop on one foot, so I can't tell you.
I don't know what Linux is. I assume, what is that? Like just a program, or is it
It's
like
it's actually an alternative operating system. It's an open source operating system. So if you wanted
okay.
to just if you decided tomorrow morning you're like I don't like Bill Gates, but I'm using his operating system. Something needs to change here. You can actually download Linux onto and run that operating system. It'll be different in how it works,
Mm.
but I've actually been thinking about just doing a series of videos about how you could actually, kind of take better control. Like, because I think over the past year of 2022, one of the things that happened for me personally was
Mhm.
I changed my relationship with the tools that I use every day
Okay.
when it comes to like the technology and stuff. Because right now, as it stands, we can't just completely obviously we can't just destroy a whole system and decide to do something different and wake up tomorrow morning and have no system there. Like, there has to be some change that we make in the meantime before we can like get to a point where we change the system. I don't know. So one of the things that you can do is change your relationship to the things that you have to use to operate within the system. So like
Mhm.
at first, when I first really, really started thinking about this again, because I've done this a couple times. I remember I told you, Mary, I was like, God, I just want to go to freaking dumb phone. I hate smartphones. I hate all
Yes.
of this, you know.
Yeah,
And then
you kept saying, "I wanna take Google off," and
yeah, I just literally wanted to get rid of the smartphone. And then I just sat,
Mhm.
and then one day I was researching dumb phones because that's what they call them now, dumb phones. So I was researching some dumb phones, and I was like, okay, first of all, if I did that, it would remove everything good about dumb phones because now, like, coincidentally, there are a lot of people that are abandoning their smartphones now.
Yes.
And just around the time that that really started picking up speed, they were talking about getting rid of 2G and 3G. Coincidence?
For 5G, you mean?
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course. Yeah.
yeah,
So there's
yep.
that, and then so that was the one thing I ran into. And then I was just sitting there kind of, being frustrated about it, and I was like, "Wait a minute. I can't like it's stupid to, technology has a lot of downsides to it, but it also has a lot of upsides. Like we're using technology right now.
True.
And, you know, if why not
I
just take the
love the
tools
GPS.
we we take the tools that are being used against us and figure out how to use them for us. So,
Mm,
take control of your tools. You don't want, bunch of Google apps on your phone, find a different version of Android. Still have some of the smart like stuff, or hell, just use your Android, but maybe take some of the distracting apps off. Set it to turn notifications off at a certain time, like
all
whatever.
right, Wheels.
Mhm.
Sorry to interrupt. But okay, you calling it a tool. Is it a
Mhm.
tool? Is it a tool? Because I think about like the conventional tool, right? It's
Yeah.
like when I'm not using like my not my table saw, but the table saw. It's not like running all this back like data collecting crap on me. It's just out in the garage or like my spatulas. They're not doing it. I don't know if we can even call it a tool at this stage. I do agree with you that there is some good that can be found on these devices, but does the good outweigh the bad? I guess would be pretty much. And you know what? To be honest, half of what you're saying is completely over my head because I'm not very tech savvy.
Okay.
So, yeah, you
Yeah.
see what I'm saying though?
Ask Mike.
This
I don't know.
is
But
guy talk.
so
I don't
here
know what you
so
guys
here's the thing.
Amir, we're
mean.
not even offended. I'm just over here like, what? This guy talk.
I'm sorry. So my thought process with calling it a tool is a tool. If I were to distill the definition down to it of a tool to you, I would
Sure.
say a tool is anything that we use to accomplish a certain thing. So,
To
a
serve a
smartphone,
purpose.
yeah, it serves a purpose.
Yeah.
These technologies serve a purpose. Are all the purposes that they serve good? No, but like it does serve a purpose. So, but right now, because I'm sitting here with a computer and a phone and stuff like that, I'm looking at it like, okay, how do I get control of how I use these devices? I live in 2023. Maybe getting a dumb phone is not necessarily going to do the things that I want it to do.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe just deciding to say F it and throw my laptop out of my apartment window, also not a great idea.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
but we have to, unfortunately, because of the way the system is. I like Fluffy Maine Coon's way of putting that. I do.
Yeah. This is like you guys are all like way over my head. Hold on.
But so, Yeah. So like
AI gonna
basically,
hack his totally. Yep.
okay. Let me just for real for a second.
Okay, sure.
I
I'll take this down.
will just straight up. I straight up. Do you know how actually afraid I am of somebody fucking with my chair? Like
I'm
some
not.
government
Yeah.
some government stuff, like I'll just be taking a nice little I'll just be taking a nice little stroll down the terrible sidewalks in this stupid town,
Hmm.
and all of a sudden some government agent's gonna be like, I really don't like that cripple's YouTube videos, man. Like, it's
Hmm.
terrible. He keeps telling people to take responsibility. We don't need that.
Yeah.
And they just, you know, yeet my chair into the street.
That's, you know what? Honestly, sometimes I get that way with my car. Isn't that insane? I'm like, because everything now I don't have like a smart car or a Prius or a Tesla, but we know this technology is pretty old, right?
Mhm.
And every car has a computer system. It does kind of like make you nervous if you're like just driving along and then that kind of pops into your head like, oh my gosh, what if it just like the car takes over and it jerks the wheel into oncoming traffic? I know it's crazy. It doesn't happen to me all the time, but it has occurred to me. Go ahead, Faye.
I
it
wouldn't be
does.
worried about it driving into oncoming traffic. Like, honestly, Mary, that's crazy. I never even really thought of that. My big thing is that it can shut off. Your car can just completely shut down at any time.
Who
That's
cares? Buy car. No, that
who cares
Yeah,
when you're
but
like, if it's raining and you have to walk home and you've got $400
yeah,
worth of groceries in your car.
true.
I would be
That
screwed
would be my luck.
because, I mean, my chair doesn't have when I got this chair actually, I checked everything to make sure that it didn't have any sort of like, you know, Bluetooth receiver or anything like that. It doesn't. I checked all the settings, and when I saw that, I was like, phew. I breathed a little sigh of relief. But yeah, so that makes me scared because it's like you guys could get out of a car and walk home. What can I do? You know,
Right.
I can crawl, but not very far.
Yeah.
And it's really not a good idea for me to do that.
Yeah, but for me
So
it would kill me also.
that's
But
true.
hold on, I'm trying to share your channel and I just realized I'm not even a mod on my own channel. So
That doesn't
I'm
make
I'm
any
not.
sense.
I'm not a mod on Clown World Cousins, but I don't want to be because it's a good example, everyone. Because wrenches are virtual, and don't be so spazzy about it. So I never
hold
want
on.
to wrench my own channel.
And also Frank, I'm seeing a lot of you all aren't, but I'm going to get on that right now real quick, but I do want to ask Mike to please share Wheels his channel.
Yeah. Hi.
Wheels,
Okay.
your channel. The last time that you were gracious and came on to speak with us, there were a few people in chat that were like, "Where's Wheels' channel? I can't find it." And I looked and looked. Like, even though I'm a subscriber to you, I had to look for it. It's like amazing how this shadow banning works.
Yeah, it's you know what? I was kind of laughing about that like last night because you know what'll happen? My videos will get like I don't know 20 views, and then YouTube will just look at it, and be like, oh shit, put that back, put that back, put that back. I'm just.
Hilarious.
I'm just, yeah, it's
Talk about what YouTube's devolved into since 2019. Okay, I have to go to the ladies' room.
2016 even.
20, but so we're gonna do predictions when I get back, Mary. You guys talk about whatever you want,
Yeah.
but we're
Yeah,
gonna do
go
like,
ahead.
okay,
I just
Yeah.
fixed
I'm
fixed
gonna
that.
I'm gonna share my other little bit, not a resolution, but something I'm kind of working toward.
Okay.
I want to cut out like as much added sugar in my diet as possible because I'm health conscious as it is. But I've noticed that like I kind of was a little bit less health conscious during the holidays, and I
Yeah.
noticed too. I noticed something, dude. The effects of sugar are so so serious on me. So I started to notice, like, actually before I even got lazy, I started to notice with the I would eat like a piece of candy or something, and
Yeah.
it would feel great for, like, I would enjoy it. I would like the candy. A few minutes later, all of a sudden I'm just lethargic and tired, and
Hmm.
I don't metabolize sugar that well. And then I started thinking, like, oh wow, I really got lazy with my health thing on during the holidays. I feel because, like, I just noticed I feel like shit, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, why do I feel? I'm like, oh, it's because of all this sugar. Hey, let me look at where else there's added sugar, and it's everywhere.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you notice these things more and more if have, either an allergy or a weird reaction. Yeah, there's so much added sugar, even in bread, you know?
Yeah, bread is practically just baked sugar at this point.
Yep. Yep. So you're gonna cut out sugar, eh? I don't know if I can
Um,
do that.
I don't know how realistic it is to cut out sugar completely in America, but
Yeah.
as much as I can,
Yeah. Yeah, I
because
do want to get as a prepper, and it's funny
Mhm.
because you were talking last night during your live, and that hilarious article that you shared off of, what was that? Yahoo?
Yeah.
Yahoo News.
Didn't I rip on Yahoo for being something that your grandma reads? Or something
That
like that.
was It literally was cracking me up. But as a prepper, I do try to stay ahead of like trends and things they say are going to be shortages of and stuff like that. But in all of those things on that list were ridiculous. Okay. But I do want to start taking my health more seriously, as I sit here and I
Mhm.
light my snipe for the third time. I'm a smoker, so a snipe is a
Yeah,
cigarette that you keep putting out over and over again and going
you and
back.
I you and
Yeah.
I have already talked about how, like, I feel like I make fun of you at least a little bit for smoking. Maybe I need to do it more. Maybe it'll help.
But yeah, I feel like tying a little bit into predictions of what's coming the next year, I think we are going to start seeing a few more health things coming our way, whether they be because people got the jib jab or because of actual, like, people physically deteriorating because of lifestyles and things like that.
Yeah, because this is another thing. Um, this is another thing that I think people kind of overlook. Like, it gets brought up once in a while, but we're so concerned. We're so, like, overly concerned about, like, the effects of the juice, as I call it, the juice,
Mhm.
that we're not really paying attention. We're not really remembering the fact that the FDA removed a lot of food regulations to quote unquote stop shortages.
Yep.
Like, so the food you're eating in 2022, 2023 is different than even the food that you were eating in 2019.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my gosh.
Tastes different.
Um, Hold on, I do want to cover this real quick. Frank. So this is what he's saying. One, we will see multiple mass casualty events, excuse me, from the earth, not man. Two, America is going to be something completely different. So I think those are his predictions. I do want to add to that because I have my sheets. Hold on, let me just turn on my camera so everybody can see my crazy sheets and sheets and sheets of paper that I have here. All right. As far as multiple mass casualty events, all right, I think we're going to see more violence. So you say from the earth, right, and not from man. I do think we are going to see more violence in people in the coming year. And if America is going to be something completely different, and that ties into the whole dropping of the USD on like the world stage, and that we're probably going to go from a recession to a deep depression if things continue along this trend.
Mary,
So,
USD. I don't know what USD is. Oh,
US dollar.
Sorry, slow.
No, it's all right.
I've been leaving faucets on. Go ahead, Mary.
So those were two things that I was kind of thinking about. What do you think, Wheels?
So I think that hold on, somebody is at my door.
That's weird.
Wheels has friends.
Are they in black? If they're in black, if they're men in black, don't answer. Or if they say they're from the government, they're here to help, don't answer. So yeah, let's see. John Boy says, yep, get ready physically, mentally, and spiritually. Absolutely. I don't see the things turning around. Like, Faye, you want to talk about the positive thing that you said to me earlier in the week?
I guess, I mean, I love I'm in my bubble like you. My family's beautiful. I made a pot roast today, and just like this, being around the table and we read Proverbs. It's different than what's the screen, but outside there's a lot of litter and stuff. But one positive trend I see with the world is that Kardashian plastic look is out and natural beauty is back in. And I know that like trends go back and down, but like, you know, like that's a good thing because the plastic has gone out of control, and natural beauty is natural beauty, and it's God. It's from God.
Yeah. So
how you were asking
anyway,
me about?
So you think 2023 is going to be the year of natural beauty? I think that you are a little too optimistic. It's gonna
No. I didn't think that you were asking me about my prediction. You just asked me. I thought that you were just asking me about one thing that I saw.
Oh, the positive thing that you said earlier in the week to me about the carrot.
Oh. Is it my turn?
Yeah, go ahead. Well, it's not your turn because I still have more, but you go ahead.
All right, I'll just jump in. So it's gonna happen in a blink of an eye. We don't know when. We don't know where. Well, it's going to happen all over. It's going to be on like some undescript day or month. And like nothing really happens. Like I was like thinking of like the undescript month. And I was like, no, they've got something for every month. So I'm going to say July. It's like after July 4th. And all of a sudden, there's going to be this blinding light all over the world. We're all going to be like, whoa. And then we're going to wake up and we're going to all be filled with the Holy Spirit, and we're going to all just have the 10 Commandments inside of us, and everything's going to be great.
You think so?
Really, no, but I wish it would. Oh. What do I really think is going to happen is my family's going to put clothes in the hamper. I'm going to have to do laundry, and like, same old. But I wish that I would have. I want the blinding light to come, and I want us to just all follow the commandments. And we need a new age. Mary, that wasn't what you were looking for.
It doesn't matter. Okay. Yes, no matter what happens, I will still have to clean clothes. But I don't know. So for 2023, what I predict, we're going to get one step closer to the digital currency and the basic universal income, because 2020 we saw got people really used to money for nothing, essentially, and that's why we started seeing the shortages of workers and stuff. Honestly, why would you work if there's no getting ahead? So I think people are getting very, very comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Yes, and we're seeing banks kind of roll out this digital currency and things like that. So I think we're going to see more of that, but I could also see our economy even getting worse. As I said before, I mean, $5 for a jar of pickles. I saw Doritos. A family-sized bag of Doritos is $6. And I know that, like, who's eating Doritos? But guess what? Sometimes you just want a crunchy Dorito, right? I mean,
My
forget
kids
about
love
meat prices, produce. If I had to feed my family off of organic food, we would already be starving, literally. And that's no exaggeration. So, yeah, I think that we're going to see more countries moving away from the US dollar and the petrodollar, and they're going to move to there's another dollar. It's like the Yun dollar or something. But anyways, it's what like everybody's trading in now with all these sanctions on that country over there. That seems to be making out pretty great with all the sanctions. Whereas we're like, can I just vent on that real quick?
Sure.
So we had that guy come over, and I don't know why he had to come over and talk in front of what, Congress?
Who, that little guy? That little pervert? He's a
Yeah.
pervert. Yeah, the little pervert weirdo. Yeah.
You're going to get your other billions of dollars. Why are you here? What is this agenda? It was very bizarre to me. And we've already sent like trillions. Is it trillions or billions over there? We are totally depleted if this kind of, we'll just call it a war, if it goes hot in global, we're screwed. We have our oil reserves are down. We're massively in debt. There are very few able-bodied men and women in this country that would, support this kind of a cause. So we'd be screwed. So let's hope that that doesn't go hot over there. All right. But
Hey, I'm back. It was my my home care worker stopped here. That's all.
oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I like forgot that she needed to drop something off here. But yeah, anyway. Yeah,
Hold on, one more thing on my predictions wheels.
I
And
was
as
gonna
already
ask.
said,
I was just about to ask you what was your. So I know I heard a little bit like what about Ukraine or about.
no. My predictions are we're going to see more people drop the US dollar, more countries, the petrodollar, which is going to completely screw us, and what is it, like 5 or 6 other countries that use the USD. So we're going to go from a recession to an actual depression in 2023. It's all to get ready for the economy to completely collapse so they can roll in the 2030 agenda, right?
Well, I want you to consider this too.
Sure.
With the collapse of the US dollar, what else is that going to bring? That's going to bring the digital currency because
I already said that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying, let's see.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. I wasn't able to really listen because I had
No, it's fine. I'll repeat it for you real quick. Step closer towards the digital currency and the basic universal income. 2020 got people used to money for not working. Why work if you never get ahead? More banks will launch test programs because we already have the banks that are testing it, right? So as more and more countries drop the USD, we're going to start seeing inflation so high that it's going to send us into a depression, getting us used to the idea of the digital dollar. Go ahead,
jump in for a second?
Sure.
So you asked me, and I know where you were going, and I'm sorry. My fantasy is that the bright light comes and we all do the 10 Commandments and love God. But my real prediction is I think that, there's the carrot and then there's the stick. And I think that this year we're going to see a little bit of the carrot. And as we know, the carrot is always a Faustian deal. They're going to introduce things like free energy. And like Mary said, like, you don't need to work. We can give you some money. And like for the masses, it's going to seem really great. But like for people like us, we're going to say, like, oh, and there will always be an opt-out. For now, there'll be an opt-out. Oh, you're unvaxxed, you're not doing this. That's fine. Just sign this paper. But like there's not going to be an opt-out later on. So I think we're gonna know their Faustian deals, but to the masses, we're gonna see some carrots. Like with energy, with health, with things being quote unquote free. That's what I think for 2023. Carrots, fake plastic carrots that the people will eat up.
That's interesting that you mentioned that, because you know how I don't know if how much of my stream you caught, but I think I was saying how
All of it.
last night it was how it's very important, if you want to understand what's actually going on and what people actually think, to go outside and talk to them. Don't look on the internet. Don't look like all of this provocateur stuff. So, I take buses and I go, and I stop. I'll even like stop and talk to people if I see people that look like they want to be approached with stuff. And yesterday I was riding a paratransit bus, which is like a bus that does door-to-door service for disabled people. And I was talking to the driver, and the driver was a full-blown communist. And so we were talking. I didn't say anything. I just listened because I wanted to understand, like, because there are a lot in Clownifornia. A lot of other people call it Commifornia, but in Clownifornia, there are a lot of communists and socialists and people that are like, hey, you should just, can't you just give it to me for free? Like, why do I have to, like, get up every morning and work? Why can't you just, like, keep me alive? There's a lot of that in Clownifornia.
Mm.
And I don't know how it is in Massachusetts, but do you guys just see open communists around? Because we do here.
I would say no. I don't think so. What do you think, Faye? Because I think that there is still a very vocal, even though it's a small group of conservative value people that live in the Northeast. And, they're the minority. Yeah, they're the minority. But of course, we have a ton of communism. We have some of the best colleges in the world here.
No, Mary. As you can learn in a world where you can learn anything for free on YouTube, we do have the best colleges in the world on paper, and that's why my kids ain't going away to school. No, no need.
But yeah, that's where I think a lot of the communism ideals, socialism, that type of stuff is from the higher education. If you look at the universities in Boston, it's like, oh boy.
Wheels.
That's true.
I wanted you to finish, but since you brought up communism, I just want to bring up a thought that I've had recently. So I walk dogs, and I love it. It gets me out. And I remember Wheels. I used to be, and I was thinking about this today, like how much time I quote unquote wasted, like being involved in Republican politics and wanting these guys to win. And now that my eyes are open, I just like, I can't get that time back. But then again, I was a different person. But one of the old sayings was, what was it that conservative says? If you aren't a liberal when you're young, you have no heart. If you're not a conservative when you're older, you have no brain. And that was, did I say it right?
Yeah, it's something like that. I've heard
Okay.
variations of it.
But now I walk dogs' wheels with McMansions with 3 and 4 car garages. And I think I'm turning communist. And it's like, why do these people's cars have a house, but there's people that don't have a freaking house? So I think I've gone a little more communist than
Mm.
capitalist. But go ahead, Wheels.
Okay,
It's
let's
interesting.
just but let's kind of dig into that a little bit more. Let's dig into the like okay, yeah. If thinking that it's ridiculous that there are homeless people and then there are idiots with with no idea what they actually should what a house should actually look like that are building McMansions and living in them and giving
That
their houses cars.
have heated garages for their cars. So I see it. Go ahead.
Hey, listen, BMWs, dude, like if you put a BMW in a cold garage in Massachusetts, it's gonna complain. Jeez.
I wouldn't know. I drive a Kia Soul.
So anyway,
I love it.
so with the communist thing, that's how they get people because they see that issue,
Mm.
and communism offers a very again it's a surface level solution. What like whereas with communism, if you walk up to anyone at all, just pick someone off the street. If you walk up to them and say, "Hey, I think everyone should have a house. Everyone should have health care. Everyone should have food. Everyone should get an equal chance at everything." Nobody is going to say, but, some people deserve to starve and die. Some people don't deserve health care. Like they're not going to most people are not going to say that. And that's what the people that make the communist propaganda count on. They know that fundamentally everyone agrees that people shouldn't starve to death and they should have shelter and they should have opportunities in life. But and a lot of people don't see things beyond the surface. They see communism and they go to these schools that are taught by communists and they say, "You know what? This communism thing is a great idea." And that's kind of how they catch people. Plus you have you know the controlled demolition of our current system happening. So yeah, it's not working because it's designed to fail. But the proponents of communism, you know, nobody that makes communist propaganda is going to tell you, "Hey, capitalism was designed to fail. It could work. Our system could have worked if we
Bingo.
let it."
Capitalism was designed to fail. Bingo. I love it.
Yeah.
But I'm not a cop. But you're right. But communism isn't the answer either. Oh God. Hi,
Yeah.
Mary.
That's my point. It's like they count on the fact the communists like the communist takeover of the world has been planned for a long time. So they set up the system.
Communism is just Satan's political plan. So from the beginning of the world, it's been that's why communism is Satanism. As soon as I studied it in school, and I was like, this is satanic.
It's actually, I think it's very similar to Christian ideals, and that's what makes it so alluring to
Yeah.
people. It's almost like a weird version of the Beatitudes or something. But hold on, guys, but you do realize that these McMansions in Massachusetts, they're not allowed to have fireplaces. So let's say we had a grid down type of emergency. These houses have no way of heating whatsoever outside of natural natural gas. Probably, I doubt any of them are on oil, but that's another way of controlling people. Okay, you take away their heat, especially in a cold climate like we have, and you're like, oh, I have no way to keep me and my
I love
family
it.
warm.
Now, So it's just like kind of like with the toilet paper thing. And I think the background character brought it up one day. She's like, can you find a way to wipe yourself? There's leaves. There's like you
No,
we'll
no,
figure
no,
it
no, no,
out.
no, no,
But
no.
can you
You do
find a way
realize
to
that just
I
100
think
people
that
in
we can
Buffalo, New
all
York
find
just
things
froze to
to
death,
light on
right?
fire. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
100 people in Buffalo, New York just froze to death because of a blizzard. They know how to keep themselves warm. They're not stupid. They know what a blizzard is. These
I
things can
didn't know
happen
about
at
that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be callous. I didn't.
no, no, no.
Uh,
The thing, my only point is that these people that are so used to living certain lifestyles, like my BMW needs a nice warm garage. These people, they are going to be the first ones with their hands out saying, "Yes, sir, please, may I have some more?" If
right.
anything, like a grid down situation, even for a temporary period. So that was my only point.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people I know. So you guys both know that I grew up in the Northeast and only moved out here fairly recently. And first of all, I just wanted to say, like, the comment you made about how there's like a small minority of conservatives that are allowed in the Northeast, I 100% agree with that, being from New Jersey.
Mm.
But I also know that, you know, in places like New Jersey, where if you live in like you know, if you live in a more wooded area, you know what you're probably going to have? You're probably going to have a generator, because you're probably going to know
Mm.
that if a tree comes down, you might be SOL for a little while.
Sure.
So, I have seen people even living in areas where people were used to power outages at various points in my life. I would see people melt down. I'd see like my family melt down when we lived in an area that was like that.
Mm.
I'm sorry, meltdown, like mentally, like or
Yeah,
like what
like
do you mean? Okay.
yeah, oh, I can't
Yeah.
watch the TV. I can't do this, and there's no internet. And oh my god,
Yeah, sure.
and then like not to mention the fact that like the whole time, because when we lived in one of those places, it was like we had a fireplace with and we would heat the house with that. But like
Mhm.
imagine if you couldn't even get that. Like you would just freeze, and people melt down now when they don't have access to the internet for like a few hours even, or their TV or whatever. Whatever their electronic control system is that they have, like that's just that's what'll happen. I can only imagine
Mhm.
how I can only imagine how it would be, and I was looking in 2022. I mentioned it was another thing I talked about, I think, where they were trying to get people seasoned up to the idea of, you know, maybe just not having power, and oh, we might have to shut
Right.
this down and
Rolling
yeah.
blackouts. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's like you know what? It's crazy to me. Now this might be a little bit of a side note here, but like it's crazy to me what people will put up with. It really, like, you know,
Preach.
I pay to live here. I pay to have electricity. I pay to have all this, like, you know what? If my fucking house was hit by one of those blackouts, I'd be like, dude, I'd be calling the power company. I'd be like, you need to give me the money back for the time that you were not giving me electricity. I am paying for services that I am not receiving.
Right.
I don't give a damn what the reason is. I am paying for services that I'm not receiving. Give me
I
my
am
money
so
back.
with you, Wheels. I think one of the biggest problems is people don't have any dignity, and I don't. It's so embarrassing. But I was watching Real Housewives of Miami, or it's so bad. But I noticed, and so in the background, like I wouldn't be able to watch it if it was across the board. All the workers were doing this. I wouldn't be able to watch it because there are some that aren't. So at least there's that. But like all these people, they're just around these hags wearing this. I said to Joe, I go, I don't care if they offered me $10 million. There's nothing to pay me to do this and serve these people. Like people have just checked their dignity. Oh, what do you think that is? You know what I think it is, guys? I'll answer it. It's
Go ahead.
godlessness. They don't think they're children of God. They've been told they're spinning on a crazy ball. You know what I mean? It really is. It really is. What does Lucky Haskins say? They're in the religion of oh, what does he say? Oh, I haven't heard him in a while, but it's so perfect. Like it's something like indecisive unimportance. Like you are just indecisive, unimportance, and nothing. And we're seeing the fruits of that. These people don't think they're worth anything. So sorry, Wheels,
But there is something to be said though, about the way people do react under these situations. So Wheels, you're saying that like for you, you would be on the phone, like being like, I'm not paying for these services that I'm not receiving. But then there's another group of people that go out and loot and steal. And then there's another group of people like that's when once things get to that level, there's all these different like camps that go ahead, Faye. What?
I just want to say that Lucky, it's because it nails it. Lucky, he calls it it's the religion of you're an insignificant accident, and that's what we've been dealing with for the last 100 or so years. Sorry, and it's not.
Yeah,
good.
I just want to read this real quick because this is kind of where I'm coming from. Look at what the British did to the Irish during the famine. Many starved due to regulations imposed by the government. They were not stupid. They had nothing else to do because of the point of a sword. And then Kitten Sons says to Connacht or to hell. Yeah, the Irish were given a choice: die on the rocky plains of starvation in Connacht or starve by eating grass in Galway City. Evil.
Wow.
So history is rife with these kind of stories, okay? And we are very American centric, you know, even though we'll bitch and moan about the states we live in, which we have every right to bitch and moan.
Yeah, I do my fair share of bitching and moaning, as you're well aware. You know, all
Not
the time on my
me.
channel, it's just like,
No,
I
no,
and
no.
this is
Oh,
this is what's wrong with California.
no, that
And
wasn't a critique. I mean, I do
No,
think it's
I know. I'm
important.
just messing around.
Yeah, it is important to point these
Yeah.
things out. But
I'm just
I
saying,
mean,
like in the context of right now, though, like
mhm,
because the way that I'm seeing it is that like we are entering a time. If we're not already there, we're at an impasse. You know, right now we can still act like we have some damn self-respect, and we can
mhm,
still, you know, with the rolling blackouts, we can still push back against the power companies. It's not
mhm.
it's not so serious yet that, you know, I mean, I'm sure it would get that serious. Like, I'm just saying, like, if we had some healthy pushback right now,
Yes.
if Clownifornians got on the phone with the rolling blackouts and were like, I am not paying for these services that I'm not receiving, or whatever, they, you know, there would at least be like, if we weren't just spineless people in here in
Mhm.
America, then, you know, we could at least not just here, sir, please take my rights. I don't need them anymore because somebody, my neighbor got the sniffles and I'm scared. Please just take
Mhm.
my rights away. By the way, thank you for giving me those eggs for $8.
Right.
Like, don't make it easy for them. Like, Jesus.
Mm.
For me, I have to get off soon, but Wheels, thank you for coming on. But Wheels, I do disagree that you said it's not that serious yet. For everyone's different. Everyone has their threshold. For me, now that children can be suffocated for hours a day, I'm talking 6 to 8 hours a day or longer, to me the world has jumped a shark. It's
Okay, but I
not
think you're
there's nothing.
misunderstanding what I'm
I
saying.
don't like what?
I think you're misunderstanding what I'm saying.
Okay.
A little
I'm
bit.
not
Yeah.
saying that it's not serious. When I said, "Oh, it's not that serious yet," I'm not saying it's not serious. I'm not saying it's not like a super serious situation. I'm saying that it's not so serious that we need to
To the
just
point of starvation.
yeah.
To the point that we're helpless is,
Well,
we're not like the Irish over there.
honestly, I think there's worse things than death, and there are worse things than death, and I think that I witnessed things that are worse than death in 2020 going on. That's all I'm saying. But we all have
100%.
what I saw. I would lay in bed and I wouldn't want to open my eyes because of what I was gonna have to see when I opened them. But I do have to get off because I don't know. But Wheels, I
Yeah.
love you, and I love you, Mary, and the chat, and
Yeah,
go ahead.
just real quick. Mary, were you gonna try and say something earlier? I feel bad because I just realized that you might have been trying to say something.
Oh, I said all my pieces of paper are on the floor wheels, which means I covered everything I wanted to cover. But
Yeah,
thank you.
okay, good. I just wanted to make sure because, like, and I just want to make sure that I'm being a gracious guest and I'm not cutting
You're
anybody off.
always an awesome guest. But
You're the
wheels,
best.
so 2023, do you think it's gonna be like 2022 was kind of, a simmer? We're just like kind of
Weird.
at a simmer.
Perfect word.
Yeah.
Simmer.
Or do you think that we're going to see, like I saw that Frank said he thinks things are going to go hot over in Europe. Like, really basically, where do you see? What do you see? Are you seeing the trends that we are watching on Yahoo News?
So I think that there's probably going to be some testing of the waters.
Okay.
First of all, like when I looked at that Yahoo article, you know what I said? Besides, this is retarded and it was written for your grandma. So like after I got that initial thought out of the way, I was like, you know what this seems like to me? This seems like a good way to engineer a crisis and to scare people, like to see how people would react if they think they're going to be a crisis. Like, you know when you get so terrified of making a mistake and you're so obsessed with I will not make this mistake so much that you actually end up causing the thing that you're trying to avoid.
Yes.
That's what they're trying to get people to do right now.
Yes.
So I think that this year is going to be like that. They're going to see what they can push people to do to themselves.
Mm.
I mean, among
Excellent.
other things, but this is something I'm seeing because I feel like right now I feel like we're at an impasse where it's like we have to. Yeah, I'm sure things are gonna go hot and but the main thing that I am seeing that I'm feeling in my gut is that like we are being pushed to a point where it's like, okay, like I always say on my channel, yeah, they're gonna, but what are we gonna do? You know? It's like they're gonna see what they can push people to do to themselves and to each other.
And why wouldn't they? Amazing. But you're right.
All right.
Ooh. So we have to be on guard.
Yeah,
Wheels.
100%. And pray for discernment for sure. I can't sit and watch the news, Frank, but I do sometimes stumble upon it at work and listen
Yeah.
a little bit to what they're saying.
Yeah.
And I do pay enough attention to be able to keep my finger on the pulse of, what they're telling
Exactly.
people
And we,
and what
in
people
my,
say.
I'm sorry to jump in as a mom, my mom vibes jumping in. Wheels, thank you. I'm really going to be simmering over what you just said because I see that too. They're going to see what they can make us do to ourselves and to each other. And
Yeah.
I'm addicted to YouTube, like I said at the beginning. I'm kind of like entertained by the drama and stuff. Mary and I got in a little tiff last week. We're fine. You know what I mean? But like they're trying to get, but we're fine. But you know what I mean? But it's all part of it. Like we have to, Wheels, what you just said, we have to recognize it. Like it's sowing the seeds of like discord, and we have to be, I don't know.
I'll see you on Discord, Wheels. It's
right.
so weird. Every time
Let me do the Mary. Mary, are you going on tonight?
Guys,
I love
guys,
the Mary.
it's time to hang up.
I know it is. Ceiling Pigment's on. I'm gonna go to bed.
Anyway,
I
Happy
have
New Year.
I've got to let Faye go. I apologize for keeping you longer, Faye.
Oh my God. Wheels, I am so happy that you came on. And I don't know if you heard it, but my biggest gift this morning was like, yay, Wheels posted. And as usual, I agree with everything. So thank you for coming on, my friend. And
Yeah.
I wish you a happy new year. And please come on again soon. And know that Mary and I are your friends. And let's all pray for each other going into the new year. And I'm so happy to have met you through Mary, and you, Wheels, you are so wise beyond your years. I always say it.
Thank you, and I'm really glad that you guys enjoyed the stream last night, and you were able to like laugh through the freaking silliness with me. By the way, just one more thing though, like Frank, I saw your joking comment about me being a controlled opposition shill, and I'm really surprised that with my name being Hell on Wheels and my profile picture being what it is, somebody hasn't said that. Like this, that was my concern
You
when I
know,
started my channel.
you know what got Faye and I into an argument is her jokingly calling me her handler. So
Oh no.
we have to be careful of the silly things we're saying to one another because sometimes they really hurt.
Oh,
Okay,
and sometimes like that could be clipped. What I just said, that could be clipped by somebody with somebody that has it out for me. It's, see, he said he was a shill.
Right.
Well, the only reason I brought up Mary and I's little I've known Mary since she was a little baby, and like I like this. I was like, I'm not fighting with Mary and I have never been in a fight, which is weird because it's kind of like but it's like but the thing is, like, you got to squash it. And this is the only lesson, guys. The enemy is coming in, and we get all these frequencies, and you're going to get in fights, and like, you're going to get messages from people and your friends that they're on your side. And we have to be like, we got to squash it. That's my advice. It's just, Mary and I squashed it. Just squash it and just like talk to each other. It's not real. Like, this fighting isn't real. Yeah.
Anyway, good night, guys. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you so much, Wheel.
All right.
All right. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. See you guys next year.
I'll see you before then. I'm sure,
I love that one.
Yeah,
I love that one.
Oh wait, no.
Sunday's New Year. I probably won't. Happy New Year. See you next year, son.
Year.
All right, bye.
All right,
Lord. Yeah, good time.
Oh Lord is right. I
do.
I need a cigarette after all this.
Hold on, where's this? This, I think.
Good night.
All right, I think that's a good note to end it on.
I have it coming, but Frank, I don't have them like out to here in the back. It's so Catholic.
All right, that's how
thought-
we're ending 2022. Is you and I being the Real Housewives of Boston. All right,
We're the real ones. We're the real ones. All right, I love
All
you. I love you. It's a long stream. Everyone go watch Ceiling Fan Man. Thank you,
Mhm.
Mary. Mary,
right,
I'll
thanks.
see you. I'll see you next year. I'll call you from the moon.
Okay, bye.
Yeah.
God bless. God bless everybody. Happy New Year. Stay blessed.